Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your what's cracking for the weekend. I don't know what's happened with my iPad this morning, but it's decided it doesn't want to tape the right way. I'm not really sure what's going on. I will not question it. It has a mind of its own, this iPad. It talks to me often. It talks to me out of the blue. Siri jumps in sometimes when I'm having a conversation with someone else and it's locked. But today it's decided to have me on side view, so I just have to hope it still does what it needs to do. So firstly, I want to say thank you to all of you for your support. I just love being part of this big family, this community. I felt a little off colour yesterday. I didn't do the daily diary and I had so many messages to hope I was okay, and it's just beautiful. So thank you so much. And I'm fine again today. I was just having an off day, as we all do sometimes, and I had to cancel a few things and sort of get on with my own stuff. I ended up having quite a good sleep last night, which was good, but yeah, some days we just don't sort of feel like we want to sort of deal with things in the world and feel a bit sort of sick and pasty. All right, next thing is my classes that are underneath these videos. All classes will be held by Zoom, so no matter where you are in the world, you can attend as long as the time frames are okay for you. I think the first couple are filling up quite quickly, so please let me know if you're interested so I can make sure I've got your name down for the later ones. The second lot I might change. I might do something slightly different depending on the demand for the first few. But I know they won't suit everybody in terms of time. I know I had somebody write from England and say they wanted to join in, but it ended up being at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is a bit early for people to do that. So I'm going to have to adjust times on them. But I can't put down where it is everywhere in the world. So you'll have to check that out for yourself. But if you have any questions, please feel free to send them through. You only have to do one class. You don't have to do all of them. Whatever you pick and choose is entirely up to you. Okay, let's get into this reading. I think I've said everything I need to say. It's a lot to remember. But we'll do this what's cracking reading. Oh, nice. We've seen a lot of the Emperor and the Empress the last couple of days, so I guess things are starting to move around in the universe. A lot of people asking questions about the twin flame unions and relationships, and they're sort of all over the place at the moment, so it's really hard to get a good idea on where everybody's up to. Some people are in union, some people have already moved into union just recently, and some people are struggling with the early stages. The rest of everybody is in the middle of all of that, but all we know is that this is for the greater good of mankind. So you have a purpose on this earth through this union. The Empress is part of that union. She's the divine feminine. But as an energy, she is a person who's very grounded, very loving, very caring. She's very nurturing and she's open to new things, ready to birth something new. So she's waiting on something here. Okay, so Queen of Swords behind that. Now the Queen of Swords does represent the Earth's, no, it doesn't, Yvonne, represents the air signs, Libra, Gemini and Aquarius. The Queen of Swords is someone who is quite outspoken. She doesn't always think before she speaks. She can be quite cutting with her words, and she's also prepared to cut you out. So she's quite an assertive and articulate person. So I feel like somebody here is really disheartened or disinterested in something here with this, and it could be a divine feminine with this Four of Cups, because I feel like whoever this person is, whoever this reading is for, there are certain people within this union now who have given up on receiving perhaps the offer. Perhaps they've waited for a very long time and they're sort of over the waiting. I feel that this sort of energy feels to me like she's about to sort of cut things out and move on. Could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But the King of Cups as a card, as a representation, is someone who does feel very deep love. He does, but he's not as probably open with expressing it as the Queen of Cups. But he is a very gentle, a gentle person who does feel the feelings but doesn't always show them, which sometimes makes him appear a little bit cold, but that's not true. He is understanding of the emotion here. I feel somehow here this person is waiting on someone to come forward who can't come forward due to their own fears and their own entrapment. So you may be dealing or waiting on someone here who at this time is unable to move forward with this Nine of Wands. Yeah, they seem to be still in some sort of, I was going to say lockdown then. Maybe that's the reason that some of them aren't coming forward. Maybe it is because of lockdown. But I feel more than this person seems to be trapped in a certain way of thinking or a certain way of seeing things, and is not able to see things in a different way. Maybe is still waiting to understand this connection or these feelings. It seems to me they've either locked themselves away or locked themselves away from the world at this time. They may have really gone inside with the moon here. So you may be dealing with someone who's actually starting to awaken, starting to really see what's going on here. I mean, the love the twin flames or soulmates feel for each other is quite deep, and a lot of the time people aren't ready for the depth that brings to them, so they feel that they need to escape or run away, which of course creates the runner in the twin flame relationship, but it also can create a person who just dives deep behind a mask and keeps their feelings hidden rather than facing them. This can represent Cancer and Pisces as well if you're dealing with them. But there's a very strong feeling here that this person has gone inwards. So maybe starting to get the messages or starting to listen to the messages. So we have the Four of Wands coming out here, which is the twin flame card, 1111. But it's not why it's here, so I'm just going to check. Nine of Cups. So there's someone here who wants something really badly. I feel that they've gone deep inside themselves to try and discover or try and work out this energy, this connection. Maybe they're feeling the connection, but it really hasn't, maybe it hasn't sort of hit home yet why the connection's so strong. I think this person wants to move forward or has a wish or desire to move forward, but there's something about their own stability that they are feeling that perhaps they can't disrupt their own stability. Maybe it is disrupting their stability. Trying to understand it, trying to move forward. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands here. So somebody sees you as magnificent. Thanks, Spirit. As magnificent. What a beautiful word. But there's something here that they sort of want to be with you, and they want to, in the 3D, I guess, are being sort of held back from this somehow. This moon card sort of makes me wonder what's binding them, what's holding them back from this situation, because their energy is really strong to move forward. They want to have something more here, but they're being held back by something. Let's keep going. I might get some clarification. Five of Cups. Wow, stuck in their past. Totally stuck in their past. Ten of Pentacles, not looking towards the future to see what's opening to them. And we have the World. So a cycle has to be closed out. They're fighting the energy here. There's something about their past or their current situation that they're having trouble either moving away from or letting go of. This is very confused energy. Very, very confused. You've got a person here who's really torn. Really torn. They need to close this cycle out. The universe is pushing them towards closing out this cycle here. So they're sort of giving them a glimpse into their own happiness here. So, you know, sometimes when you you're in denial, wearing a mask, or not seeing an opportunity that's open to you because it's too difficult to reach the ends to a mean. But it's sort of like the universe is giving them a glimpse or an idea of what this will look like going forward, but they're not trusting this energy. They're preferring to be immersed in their own emotion and pain. They're suffering. They're suffering for this because they're just refusing to see the answer here. Okay, 7 of Pentacles. So waiting, being patient, all of the above. Waiting for another doorway to open. You know what? You've got someone here. It's almost like they're waiting for someone else to do the work for them. Okay. And we do have the Hierophant, and they're not realizing that their stability actually lies in the end result rather than worrying about the stability they have where they are, which to me doesn't even look like stability. So you've got someone here who's very, very confused. They feel that where they are is where they need to be. That's why they're sort of not realizing. They're taking their current situation as being stable, and it's just so not stable. They have to close out this cycle. It's like they're refusing to move ahead, and all the universe keeps doing is just throwing up in front of their face. I feel like here, now going back to this little story at the beginning, someone here is trying to either deny, cut out, walk away, stop something from disrupting their life here. They're seeing whatever this is that's being offered as being a disruption rather than seeing it as something that is really able to push them forward. So, like Spirit said, they're looking at gift horse in the mouth. So it's like they're not understanding that what lies at the end of their pathway is so much better than where they are, because they think that where they are is the best place to be. So they may be putting up with a very sort of negative situation, especially with this 9 of Wands here, because they're used to it, because they're used to the pain and suffering. And the pain and suffering, we've talked about this before, the pain and suffering is familiar to them. So you could be dealing with someone who's had a pretty difficult life, a pretty difficult childhood, and the pain and suffering has become like... it's part of who they are, and they're refusing to let that go. So because it's so familiar, that suffering is so familiar, they feel that that's what they have to endure because that is who they are. So they're feeling like the suffering and pain is part of their journey, so they're just accepting. You could be dealing with someone who has very, very religious views. You know, it's sort of, or very traditional views, because it's like that whole thing of, it's that whole thing of, you know, I'm trying to think of an example. I can feel the energy. I can't think of an example. Just one moment. It's like, you know, with a lot of the old school religious views, you know, punishment for sin was part of the equation. And it feels like this person feels it's their punishment to suffer. And the suffering feels normal or natural to them. So they prefer to be in the suffering rather than to change and open their world up. But the universe is trying to do this by giving them some sort of glimpses into their future here, by showing them a path ahead that's very different to what they're experiencing. The Hierophant here could be dealing with someone who's trapped in a relationship or a marriage, or feels trapped. But that's an illusion. We know that with the moon here. That's an illusion. But whoever this is suffering a great deal of pain rather than realising that they can open their world up, lose the mask or the illusion and move forward. I'll just put a couple of cards down here. Okay, so I have the 3 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Swords. See, the thing is, it's almost like the pain of walking away is far greater than the pain that they feel the pain of walking away is much greater than the feelings of what could be. They are not willing to risk what could be. They would rather suffer. So you've got someone who's suffering greatly but is choosing to suffer rather than choosing something new. They feel that the stability is in the suffering rather than in the... It's in the suffering. All I can see, all Spirit is showing me is, you know, with the old Christians when they did something wrong and they would whip their backs with, you know, cat of nine tails. And that's all they keep showing me. So I figure that if I could explain what that looks like, but it's that whole idea of trying to bring yourself even more pain. This is quite interesting. I pulled the card of strategy out and thought, I wonder what they mean by strategy. And then I pulled the card of deceit. So it's a really creepy looking card, that one too. Look at it. Okay, let's just have a look. So I have the card of deceit. I think it's self-deception that they're talking about here, but I will have a look because the moon is here. All right, this is about hidden tactics and manipulation. This card comes as a warning that there may be some deception going on in your life. The person behind the curtain is likely someone you know or deal with, either personally or professionally. The duplicity could be regarding a personal issue, like someone spreading rumours or disrespecting you to others. Or it could be a business matter where details are being hidden or even manipulated. Be aware of what's going on in your life. The man behind the curtain is holding a bag of something valuable, so watch your money and your good name and make sure you have all the information you need to keep things honest and secure. A deeper layer of meaning may be that deception is actually coming from within. Is there something you're lying to yourself about? In this case, the bag of valuables may be holding things like self-esteem, happiness, and even leisure time. Whether it's about your life or yourself, remember that the universe has a hard time sending you honouring experiences if your energy is shrouded in self-deceit. That's the message you need to hear here, because I think this is for this person. Whether it's about your life or yourself, remember that the universe has a hard time sending you honouring experience if your energy is shrouded in self-deceit. So that's about this person, I think. They're self-deceiving, they're closed off to the universe. And it's funny because we've been receiving such beautiful messages about people moving forward, but I guess not everybody's on the walk here. There are some people on the journey who haven't moved from where they were. I feel the strategy is probably something similar as well. This is about the direction somebody is wanting to go in and adding thought to action and sort of getting the road ahead ready. So I feel with strategy, it's very much a matter of perhaps even for you, if this is the person you're dealing with or waiting on, it's possible that they're talking about, you know, some sort of strategy. So you're not thinking about it, you're not focused on it, and you're just allowing this person to be. This particular person, I think, will take a little while to get out of this energy of suffering and pain rather than looking forward to some sort of pleasure ahead. Very Nine of Swords, moon energy here. So very much sort of punishing themselves perhaps for feeling the way they do, punishing themselves for the connection, punishing themselves perhaps because they're thinking evil thoughts, who knows, sinful thoughts. Alrighty, have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday.